Hello and welcome, Warren Knight here, and thank you so much for joining me at the Quantum Leap 2020. You've probably already heard from some fantastic speakers and sat in some incredible workshops. But what I would like to do for you right now is give you some clarity on what's really going on out there at the moment in the digital space. So I want to take you through a bit of a journey today. I want you to be thinking about being digital first to ultimately embrace the new medium. Now, over the next 20 minutes or so, I'm going to be taking you through a journey of 3 different ways of thinking about being digital first. Now, being digital first is something that I've always been very passionate about. And so one day when I was kind of sitting at home, feeling a little bit depressed with myself, I decided to embrace the concept of digital first. And I picked up my mobile phone. Yeah, that's me just there, only a couple of years ago with my profile picture. And I decided to engage with a dating app to try and maybe find somebody who could share the rest of life with me. And so I did. This is the picture that I found, and I immediately swiped right. And guess what? Neither of 2 of these pictures were actually the real people behind that. But the reality was we ended up getting married because of that. And that's right. You know, I'm one of those guys that got married because of Tinder. And not only did we get married, but actually we went on another digital journey. We embraced what was missing in our lives and decided that going through fertility treatment was going to be the answer to our question. And we went through 3 rounds of IVF to get our very first daughter, Dixie, who's going to be 4 in about 2 months' time. But what then happened was that she felt like that she was missing. And then our second daughter came along completely naturally, Blossom, who turned 2 the other day. And it was kind of like buy one, get one free. So I've always been a big fan of thinking digital first. Now, enough about me and what's going on. Let's talk about why we're here. Because what I would love for you to do is I want you to embrace this new medium. And whether or not you are a techie person, whether or not you've always resisted technology, unfortunately, the way that we used to do business has now changed. If we think about what the future looks like, it could look a little bit like this, where we're grabbing files, working with clients, picking up new business, whatever that might be. This is what the future might look like. But what's the reality? The reality is this. Your customers are searching, finding, engaging, conversing on their mobile phones with brands online. So if this is where we're at right now, if this is the reality of what this looks like, let's hear from somebody that has truly embraced this opportunity. And this particular guy is Mr. Jeff Bezos. And what has Jeff got to say about this digital environment? Well, for him, we see our customers as invited guests to a party, and we are the hosts. It's our job every day to make every important aspect of the customer experience just a little bit better. So if this is what Jeff Bezos says, and he has a lot of technology at his fingertips, every single touch point of where he's moving towards is going to have AI built into it. Now, we might not all have the pleasure of having that technology at our fingertips, but what we can do is take who we are, what we do, and talk about it. And that, for me, is all about thought leadership. You are an expert in what you do. Why not talk about it and talk about it online? So when we think about the concept actually of thought leadership, what is it really? What does thought leadership really mean? Well, I'm going to share again with you something that Michael Brenner kind of shares with us around thought leadership. And that is, thought leadership is simply about becoming an authority on a relevant topic by delivering the answers to the biggest questions on the minds of your target audience right now. I'm actually going to take this to another level towards the end of today, and something that one of our exemplars, Barnaby Winter, who I think you would have seen him on a training through this program, shared with us. And when I looked at this research that a particular organization had put together and looked at who out there in the marketplace is coming from this place, I was like, this is where thought leaders really need to be in the future. And I want to share with you that in a moment. But before we do that, let's talk about this. Let's talk about that new medium. If we're going to embrace this new medium, I want you to be doing this. I want you to be taking time out for yourself. I want you to be going on a digital commute. I want you to be thinking about what is it that you do when you travel to work, to and from. What are the things that you used to do? Listen to music, listen to podcasts, speak to friends, whatever that might be. I want you to embrace this concept of a digital commute and take time out for yourself. Because the rate at which things are evolving at the moment is like nothing that we've ever seen before. Because ultimately, I've had clients that have accomplished in 10 days what would have taken them 10 months. Now, I work with entrepreneurs and experts in their fields, but I also have another hat where I work with the corporate worlds. And I have never seen, when we've created, if you like, 3-year roadmaps of how we're going to embrace emerging technology, I've never seen anything happen at the pace that it's been this year. But what it has done is it's actually created something that's a little bit more scarier than that. It's actually created a massive divide, a divide in mindsets, a divide in how people buy, in how people consume data. If we think about brands from the past, Woolworths, we all know the story of Woolworths, and that was before then. We've had multiple organizations be brought to their knees because they hadn't thought about their future customer. They hadn't created this environment where they went digital, because this is what our customers are doing. They're embracing those digital devices, those smartphones, those smart tablets, and they're looking at ways of finding information out. Now, whilst the information they're looking for might not be 100% relevant to your business, you're also still being very, as I like to call, transparent. You're helping your customers. You're putting those customers' needs right at the beginning. Now, one organization for me that's doing this really well and truly embracing the concept of transparency is Volvo. Volvo have created on blockchain technology a digital ledger where the cobalt is mined over in the Congo. Then where it's picked, packed, shipped, taken to an environment where it's then put into electric batteries, and that electric battery put into that Volvo and then shipped to the dealership. And then happy you, Mr. Customer, picking up your Volvo, you can get complete transparency of where that cobalt came from and the journey that it went through to be in your car. And you have this digital ledger. You have this transparency in regards to what's going on right now. Unlike someone that I know who is not being very transparent actually what they're doing right now. Because what we want to know as consumers is we want to truly understand that single point of truth. That point at which you as an organization decided to change direction. You as an individual said, I'm no longer working in this environment. I've got too much knowledge and passion to share. You want to become that thought leader and become that single point of truth that allows people to truly get connected to your passion, your why, giving you that clarity and that certainty. The second point that I want to share with you today is taking thought leadership up another level. And that's coming from the place of digital leadership and actually truly embracing the concept of technology and looking at it from a framework perspective. So I want to share that framework with you right now. It is a 4-step framework, and it's about you being a true digital leader and embracing this new environment. So step number one is all about communication. How are you communicating with your virtual teams? How are you communicating with your virtual partners? How are you communicating with those virtual thought leaders, those individuals, those influencers that are actually driving that tone of voice at the moment? How are you engaging with them and tracking that? Because there are some fantastic tools out there that allow you to manage all of those different conversations that are going on. The next one being customer centric. How much do you know about your customers right now? Do your employees truly understand the effect that this has had on your customers right now? And are you thinking about ways of helping them make decisions around what's going on? Step number 3 is about employee action. Is there enough accountability? Is there enough autonomy? Are you being allowed to take risks? Are you allowed to sit in this space of working in beta? That you are allowed to make mistakes because we're learning from them. And when we learn from those mistakes, we get better at what we're doing. And when we're allowed to learn from those mistakes, it enables us to do things quicker and better. So do you have the most up-to-date version of your trends, technology? Are you attracting the right talent to ultimately help you in your organization right now? Because when we go back to one of the most important factors that I was talking about earlier, and that is talking about customers and what is it that those customers need right now? So this might be something that you want to take away and do at the end of this 24-hour marathon of knowledge sharing. And that is, give your customers a bloody good listening to, because they need to be heard. But not only once they have been heard, the great thing that you can do is put your customers at the heart of everything that you do. Make your customer the hero of your stories. Let them do the talking for you. Let them tell your future visitors, prospects, and customers about you. Embrace that. So to do that, we need to do 3 things. The first one, we need to be brave. We need to take that step into the unknown, the uncharted waters. We also need to be kind and understanding. And the last one, we need to build a community of people that we know, like, and trust, whether that be from a business environment or from a customer environment. Like I say, let those customers be the hero of your stories. So the last thing that I want to share with you today, and something that, as I mentioned, Barney Winter shared with myself and Warren Cass, my business partner at Thought Leaders Blueprint, is the concept of sense making. So in other words, there's a lot of noise out there. There's a lot of insight that's being pushed out online. You've probably seen the amount of conversations that have happened on websites, in Facebook, in Instagram, in LinkedIn, all of these digital environments. And you might be overwhelmed to a certain degree. So what I want to do for you now is just break down the concept of sense making and help you get a better understanding of the next step that you need to take with your customers. The first part is all about what you used to be doing. So if somebody came to you with a problem, no problem at all, I can give you lots of information on that. Well, they don't need to be in more overwhelmed. That's the last place that they need to be in. Okay, so then let's do this. Let's tell them what they need to know. But as I like to say, it's kind of like peeling the layers off an onion. Are they really asking the right question? Or do you need to find out by reiterating the question back to them and getting clarity on what they're actually saying? Because then if you tell them what you think that they need to know, the reality is that's really not what they need to know. So what you can do is, when you come from a place of sense making, That then allows you to go, yeah, there's a lot of information that's out there at the moment. Let's work together to make sense of it. Yes, there's a company over there that can do that for you. Yes, there's a thought leader over there that can point you in the right direction. It might be in that first instance that you have to turn customers away. And do you know what? That's okay. Why is that okay? Well, there's a new CMO that's taken the helm at a corporate company that we all know. And this particular corporate company put out a statement of intent. And this particular statement of intent looks like this. So this was from Burger King. And the Burger King said, hey, go and order from McDonald's. What? What do you mean go and order from McDonald's? Well, we never thought we'd be asking you to do this. Just like we never thought we'd be encouraging you to go and buy from our competitors. Why are we doing that? Because you, Mr. Customer, are the most important thing, and you love a tasty meal. And if getting a tasty meal is priority to you, then go and buy from McDonald's, go and buy from KFC, go and buy from our competitors. Yes, they have great food, but if you're ever out and about and you see Burger King, don't forget that our Whopper's pretty good, you know. It's also probably one of the best that's out there. But if ordering a Big Mac is a thing for you, no problem at all. So that was their statement of intent, going out there in this environment and telling us, the consumers, to go and buy from somebody else. That, for me, is a great example of sense making. Because ultimately, what they're doing is, with all of the noise that's out there at the moment, all the confusing and conflicting arguments, comments, push notifications through PR or websites or Twitter, whatever it might be, there's a lot of noise out there. And by helping tomorrow's customer, and I'll say that again, helping tomorrow's customer cope with an over and abundance of seemingly high quality information in your marketplace. That's your job. Your job is to help make sense of that. Now, Gartner put a great report together, and this is what, as I mentioned, Barnaby Winter shared with us. And these are the stats that are coming out of it. The people that were skeptical about buying from a brand, well, by helping make sense of that, increase that opportunity. Those individuals that had a lack of confidence of working with the brand. Once again, it built confidence with what's going on. So what I want to finish today with you is, if we think about what we're currently going through at the moment, and we have to create this importance of data, that single point of truth, we have to understand the science behind what's happening, our websites, communication, content that we're pushing out, whatever it might be. We have to look at that data and truly understand that single point of truth. But we also need to have the art of what we're looking at, how we can help people make sense of that. And if that means we need a bit of a personal touch, then that's what we need to do. We want to bring the art and the science together. So I just want to say thank you all very much for being with me today. I hope you enjoyed sharing with you how to think digital first and embrace this new medium. Thank you very much, and enjoy the rest of the show.